Guest assistance, for instance, a medical emergency, or you got something value off the side of the train. Do not jump off of the tram. This is unsafe for you and those working at the studio. Instead, reach overhead and pull on the red cord that runs down the center of each car. Your guide will
In a lot of trouble Alright guys, there is live filming going on our lot today, so I hope you guys brought your camera. You never know what you might see going on down there. We got so much to see and so much to talk about. I can't even handle it all by myself. So sitting up here with me at the front of the tram is the best.
You made it! Welcome to the Universal Studio Tour. I'm Jimmy Fallon. I'll be making sure you get through this experience in one piece. You've got the very best guide.
Aurora!
And the greatest driver.
Victor!
You're the best. I love that. Even though
Aurora!
it owes me $5.
I'm gonna keep it.
I know you guys are excited to get on the tour, but first, a few safety rules.
Alright everybody, the safety rules are quick but they're important, so I need you to listen up. Up above your head, there's a red cord running down the center of the ceiling. If you have any type of an emergency during the tour, like you drop something valuable off the tram, if your audio visual goes out, if you need medical assistance or any type of assistance, reach up and pull that cord so we can stop the tram and help you out. Please remain seated at all times, especially while the tram is moving. Keep in mind that if you choose to stand up, I can see you. No, that's not good. There's no smoking aboard the tour. Food drinks are okay. Cigarettes are not. And finally, just be prepared. There's going to be loud noises on our tour. There will be fire effects. There will definitely be sudden movement. There's going to be water out there. Like, we won't make you swim, but you'll get sprayed or splashed. California Hills. Halloween decorations out. So if you're a person who does not like Halloween, consider yourself warned. Some of our decorations are kind of scary. But that's how they are. They're just decorations. Nothing's going to happen here. And I'm just talking about the buildings. Now that you can see the camera side of our Metropolitan sets, you notice we have lots of different types of buildings here, lots of different styles of architecture, all kind of jammed together. The whole point of this part of our lot is that it's kind of one miniature city with a lot of variety and selection, lots of different types of city going on. So if you're making a movie, you come out here, you figure out a little piece of our lot that works for you. It might be just a doorway, it might be the whole street. And then you can decorate our sort of generic Metropolitan sets to look like whatever city you want. You might put out horrifying Christmas decorations. It just depends on the story that you're trying to tell. But it is our film crews that bring these sets to life. They put signs in the shop windows, they add displays, they decorate the street, they bring out the cars, the actors, they dress everybody up depending on what part of the world they're supposed to be in, what time of year, maybe it's a different part of history. Invented King Kong back in 2005. His name is Peter Jackson.
It's the original King Kong that made me want to direct movies. I saw that movie on TV when I was about 8 or 9 years old, and I wanted to become a filmmaker. I like films that just take you away from your real life and sweep you up in the future. Kong literally does that. I mean, you're on board the ship, you're sailing to a lost island, you encounter monsters and creatures from prehistoric times.
Alright folks, get those 3D glasses on because we're on our way to the home of Kids movies. I like that we have different cars from different movies in the series. Sort of a selection here for you. And then the gyrosphere right in the middle. That's from Jurassic World. Now, it can be hard to tell just by looking whether these cars are the real deal. The tank there at the end of the line is made out of plywood, so don't take that tank into battle. It's not going to protect you. It's just like the buildings we were looking at a couple minutes ago. We worry about what the camera sees, and as long as it looks good, it doesn't have to work the way that it would in real life. A lot of cars you see in movies don't have engines in them at all. We take them out when they're too noisy. The cars you see on screen might be empty shells, they might be miniatures, we might cut the cars open to see the actors in the Jurassic Park movies.
welcome to Jurassic Park.
Oh, thank you, Grandma. This section of our lot is filled with props and vehicles from the original Jurassic Park trilogy. Most of the really big pieces are made out of plywood and fiberglass, so they're designed to look like metal, but they're actually pretty flimsy. Now that's okay with us. We're not worried about dinosaurs escaping, because dinosaurs have been extinct for millions. Oh no, it's a dinosaur, it's out! They're precious! They were supposed to be extinct. I don't know what happened. It's okay. The dinosaurs are fake. The flowers are fake. These trees up here are made out of styrofoam. We're in Hollywood, guys. Nothing's real. Our driver Victor's animatronic. You guys didn't even notice. Another thing that's almost always fake in the movies is the weather. If you're watching a movie and you see rain or fog or snow on screen, the film crew is making that happen. Almost guaranteed. Mother Nature doesn't work on cue, so if you need rain in your movie, you got to make it yourself. And the good news is that's really easy to do. So we're going to take you down into the old Mexico area of our lot. And we're just going to show you how we make it rain. So let's start things out here with a little bit of thunder and lightning. That thunder is a pre-recorded sound effect. The lightning, we just flash some strobe lights. Sometimes it's hard to see this time of day, but we still do it. Once we have thunder and lightning, then we start the rain. And we use real water for the rain, because that's still the best way to get our actors wet. But rain is tough to photograph. Doesn't like to show up very well on camera. So we cheat a little bit there. We use extra large raindrops. We space out those raindrops so they'll catch the light when they fall. We might add something like milk or paint to make the liquid more opaque, because the important thing is we want to see those raindrops. But we don't want to run the water too long, because if you do that, you can get floods. So, Cody, go ahead and shut the water off for me, please. Cody? Oh, no. Oh, what did you do? We got it, everybody. We got a flash flood. Here it comes. Yeah, we did the flood on purpose, too. Of course we did. Here's what that flash flood looked like in the movie Big Fat Liar with Paul Giamatti. And we still use these sets. They were filming here just last week. But our Western sets are not quite camera ready right now. So I'm going to throw things over to Jimmy Fallon, and he'll show you how we bring our Western sets to life.
This town ain't big enough for the both of us, Jimmy Fallon.
Well, I ain't going anywhere, Jimmy Fallon.
Now look here. The nice folks in this tram don't want no trouble. They just want to check out 6 Points, one of the oldest sets on the Universal lot.
I hear this is where John Wayne and Jimmy Stewart shot a few of their westerns.
That's right. That's where I am.
Looks like we got ourselves a Mexican standoff. Lucky shot.
Now what say you mount up and get out of town while the getting's good?
All right. Well, I'll see you again, Fallon.
Oh, you can count on it, pal. Again.
This is the beginning of a beautiful...
Is going to the bad place?
Maybe it's not all that bad.
How can I help you?
What is the bad place like?
Well, it doesn't sound awesome.
There's another show that films over here too during the week. It's called Home and Family. Home and Family is a talk show that airs on the Hallmark Channel. They air Monday through Friday. They film Monday through Friday. Saturdays and Sundays they take the day off, and it's a win-win for them because they get a little rest and a little extra publicity, because during the week when they're working, they don't let us get this close. But the next place we're going is very, very cool. We're heading into our subway stage. This is a sound stage built to look like a subway station. Really sad. On your monitors is from an episode of the Fox show Bones. And this episode aired probably... it's over. We'll wait for the doors and then we, oh no, not again. We just survived a simulated earthquake inspired by our 1974 film, Earthquake, starring Charlton Heston. We don't really film in there very much. That's mostly for the tour. But they did make an episode of Bones on that set. It was called Bones on the Blue Line. It's such good photos. Oh, is there still a diver? Because yep, there he is. He's out by the boat. Pete, did you see the shark? It looked like it was heading for you. Uh-oh. Pete, you okay? Can you give me like a wave or a thumbs up? Pete? Oh, for Pete's sake. We're going to have to call that in. Don't panic, folks. We're safe here on the tram. We're just hiding behind these highly flammable gasoline tanks because that's not dangerous. Somebody's got a hold of them here. Well, if it's in the gas lines, that could be a problem. But I don't think anything's going to okay, yeah, that's bad. Backline tour, that's Bruce, the mechanical shark. He's the only shark in the world that swims the backstroke. He's very talented. He's very professional, very well behaved. Very different from the shark Steven Spielberg worked with when he was filming Jaws. That shark was all kinds of trouble. And you don't have to take my word for it.
That's a much more shark. The shark is frustrated. It didn't really work all the time. It didn't work hardly at all.
Wherever you were on the island, you could hear the radio lines. They were always saying, the shark is not working. Repeat, the shark is not working.
And if you're really interested in Hollywood real estate, we're about to head down the most popular street on our lot. You've definitely seen this neighborhood before. Especially if you ever watched Desperate Housewives.
If there is one thing everyone in suburbia can appreciate, it's a good neighbor.
Well, we call this street Colonial Street, but for 8 years it was Wisteria Lane for Desperate Housewives. So if you're a big Desperate Housewives fan, you might recognize a few of these houses. On the other hand, you might not. It's been a few years since Desperate Housewives went off the air, and more than 300 other film and TV projects have worked right here on this same street. They all make their own changes. Like the house here at the very end of the street looks totally different. They've been using this house for a new show called Abby's. It's a comedy starring Natalie Morales from Parks and Recreation. You see this street in the movie Why Him with Bryan Cranston. It's in Neighbors 2 with Zac Efron. There's a lot of history on this street as we head back the way we came. This gray house on your right was built back in the 1950s for a movie called Bedtime for Bonzo. The blue house on your left is where Tom Hanks lived in The Burbs. And the lilac-colored house coming up on the right-hand side was the original home of the Munsters. That was 1313 Mockingbird Lane. So this whole street was put together right around the end of the 1940s, going into the 50s, about the same time that television was getting to be popular. And so a lot of early TV shows like to film on this street. Shows like Leave It to Beaver, Perry Mason, The Twilight Zone. So a really popular street ever since it was first built. So here are a few more examples of how Colonial Street has looked over the decades. Getting ready for Christmas already. But their next door neighbor can't even let go of Halloween. This guy's kind of a psycho over here. We're looking at the Bates Motel where Norman Bates met all of his victims. Up at the top of the hill is the Psycho House, where Norman lives with his mother. Well, the Psycho House is neat. It's built slightly undersized, so when you stand at the bottom of the hill and look up, it looks like the house is farther away than it really is. That makes the hill look taller, makes Norman look taller standing next to the house, makes everything a little creepier. Oh, somebody's home. All right, folks, do me a favor here. No loud noises, no sudden movements. He's pretty sensitive. He's sweet, though. I mean, he wouldn't hurt a fly. He just gets, oh, okay, that's not a pet. Yeah, we're going to keep on rolling. He does get cranky. I think it's because his backyard is a disaster. This is the colossal crash site set from Steven Spielberg's War of the Worlds. And that's a real 747 that was destroyed on purpose to film this unbelievable setup.
The airplane crash site set is a perfect example of a set that is all designed around the vision of Steven.
When we first began to sit down to talk about the War of the World, I thought, what if the 747 goes down right in a big neighborhood? Because it's just something you don't see.
You're doing good. You're doing good. Keep close to me. That's it. Now listen, I want you to close your eyes, okay? Okay, I'm closed. Robbie, get in. Get in.
Once again, this is War of the Worlds, starring Tom Cruise and Dakota Fanning. A lot of directors might have settled for a computer-generated plane, but not Steven Spielberg. He wanted to have the real deal. Steven Spielberg's a guy who knows about special effects. So if he says he needs a real plane, he's going to get a real plane. All right, folks, we're moving into the home stretch. We'll have you back to the theme park in about 10 more minutes, but we still got